Hi, I'm James Schillinglaw, and I'm here with Laura Schofield, who's the general manager of the Conrad Washington, D.C. Now, this property opened up in 2019, so it had reopened last year after the COVID pandemic, and so kind of this is a new hotel, effectively, and there's a lot of great things about it that I think your clients are going to want to know about, and you're going to find out from Laura all about that and more on Insider Travel Report. Now, Laura, first of all, thank you for hosting me. Just for a quick night, it was great. I've been able to look around the hotel. It's a great property here in Washington, a great option. Tell us a little bit about the history of this hotel, because it did open in 2019 and where we are now.
Thank you so much. We're very excited about this hotel. We opened in 2019, as you mentioned. Very much a new neighborhood in D.C., here in the middle of City Center. So really known for its beautiful modern architecture, which is something new for D.C. So
and this hotel really reflects that. I mean, it's wide open space. It's really beautiful open spaces. It's very modern. Yeah?
So I think many people think of Washington as a very classic city, a lot of historical buildings. So we were built by the architects Herzog de Meuron, who many people know for the Tate Modern in London and the Bird's Nest Stadium in Beijing. Right. So it's a beautiful piece of modern architecture. And we are surrounded by just wonderful retail. We have our Chanel store will be opening in July of this year.
I'll have to keep tabs on that one. I know if I want my Chanel perfume.
Reason to come back. And we have our Gucci store, Christian Dior, Hermes, just 33 wonderful boutiques here at City Center, as well as a lot of wonderful restaurants as well. So very, very proud of the hotel. We never thought we would open it twice in a year, which is what we got to do. But we have an amazing team who really embraced that task. This hotel was a very exciting addition to Washington, and we could tell as we were opening it. We actually had 13,000 people apply for the 380 jobs here in the hotel. So we are very, very fortunate. I think our greatest asset is our people.
So you were closed for COVID. So when did you close and when did you reopen?
We closed April 1st and we reopened at the end of August.
Last year, absolutely. So that was, and I think a lot of other hotels had the same thing. So, but you did get in August. Now, talk a little bit about, if you could, the accommodations, because they are really bright, airy rooms, lots of windows. Really, it's a great feature of the hotel.
So this hotel has floor-to-ceiling windows throughout the hotel. It also is a hotelier's dream. There is not a bad view in this hotel. Our back of house is all underground, 3 stories below ground. So there are beautiful views, 360 degrees around the hotel.
Yeah, we're actually in this wonderful area. What is this area?
This is the Sakura Lounge. Okay. So we have a wonderful club level. About 54 of our rooms have club access, and we serve 3 meals a day up here. Beautiful out. We have an open kitchen. We serve breakfast a la carte. We serve a wonderful dinner. We practice culinary diplomacy, we call it up here. So every night is food from a different country.
Oh, that's great.
And so one night you might have Japanese food. Another night you might have food from Morocco. So we do like to have different experiences up here in a very, very intimate setting, which has really resonated since COVID, because it is just a very intimate, personal experience up here with a private staff, and has really been very well received by our clients.
And then it have these wraparound windows that are just amazing. I'm looking, if you can't see it, but I'm looking at the Capitol Dome right over there. So what are the kind of range of accommodations? You have suites, and how many rooms, first of all?
We have 360 rooms,
right,
and we have 32 suites. And they all are just beautiful and modern and very clean lines, very wide open spaces. And again, that's very much resonated in our COVID world. Great.
You were
social distancing.
Yeah, you were made for COVID before COVID.
COVID, and we never knew it would be a great asset to us. So just really beautiful spaces, gorgeous views of the city.
Right.
We have a lovely park next to us. So one side of our hotel, where most of our suites are, actually looks onto a gorgeous park at City Center. Right. That gets activations in the summer. There's usually a farmer's market there. And then again, as you come up in the building, you can see the Washington Monument Washington, the capital,
That's
especially.
what you're here. That's what you're here for, to see all this.
Great sense of place here, especially up on our rooftop bar. Our rooftop bar just reopened.
Yeah, let's talk about that in a second. But I did want to talk a little bit about the dining options quickly.
So we've reopened our lounge. It's serving lunch and dinner. It's a gorgeous bar. It's a circular bar with views all out onto the city. And it's right off of our lobby. So one of the most iconic places in this hotel is our atrium lobby. And you probably saw the giant 14-foot moon that hangs and changes color through the course of the day. So it's bright white when you wake up in the morning, and it's a beautiful amber orange when you go to sleep at night.
So I did see that last night, and I think maybe I was a little sleepy this morning. I didn't know if I know as I went down to breakfast, but it is a gorgeous atrium. It really is.
It is. So you had dinner under the moon last night.
I did, and then it was great with the lounge. And then, of course, you do have and we'll talk about it now, the rooftop. It's the Summit rooftop.
Correct. We've been very focused on, this hotel has wonderful outdoor spaces. We are a LEED Gold building, and outdoor spaces were critical in building the hotel. So we have 2 terraces on the 3rd floor, which we did a lot of outdoor activations when we first reopened in the fall, because obviously outdoor dining is what everyone's been looking for. We did a beautiful hidden garden experience with wonderful dishes presented to you under tree stumps, just a gorgeous pasta that looked like a bird's nest, just a very special experience on our terrace. And then we moved into après-ski, and we had a lovely après-ski pier.
It really didn't come to mind as après-ski in Washington.
Without the work, so it's the best kind. And then now in April, we reopened our rooftop bar, which has gorgeous views of the Washington Monument and the Capitol. And we've really embraced sustainability up there. So some of our dishes are cooked in a solar oven. Okay. And we're growing herbs and edible flowers that we're using in many of our presentations up there. And it's just a beautiful experience. It was really inspired by our executive chef who grew up in Virginia on a farm. Right. And he's brought many of his recipes, and we like to think of it as the nation's backyard barbecue up there on the rooftop.
Is this become a real gathering place in Washington for you?
Very much so. Very much so. I would say the number one thing we got calls for when we were closed is, when is Summit opening?
When's the rooftop? When's the bar? There you go. That's right.
Exactly. Yeah. Everyone has their priorities.
Yeah. Now, you led into the question of sustainability, and you mentioned this is a LEED certified building, a hotel. Talk a little bit about, and you have the cuisine that you're talking about. You are really focused on sustainability.
We very much are. We have green roofs. We capture rainwater, and that's what we use as our irrigation for all the landscaping throughout the hotel. So we're very focused on sustainability throughout the property.
That's great. Now, and obviously, you've had a long experience in Washington hotels. I believe you were general manager of St. Regis and a lot of other properties here. When getting here, what is the real difference that you have here based on your experience in other hotels here?
This hotel has just really been something special for DC. As I mentioned, it was really very much anticipated. I've never been part of a hotel that had 13,000 people apply for the jobs, and this is my 3rd opening of a hotel. So I think it was just something very special for Washington, something so contemporary, so modern. Right.
So literally, what else would you like to tell? We have 85,000 travel advisors watching us. What would you like to tell them about this hotel? Some way to really best experience that they can tell their clients.
Again, our staff really make this hotel. It's a beautiful setting, but our staff are just completely dedicated to creating personal experiences. A few months ago, we had a couple celebrating, a trip that they would have taken to Europe for their honeymoon, to go around Europe, and our front desk created a round the world in their suite here in DC and created moments from our properties in Europe and tried to recreate the honeymoon they didn't get to take. And that's who our staff are. They really are looking to create special memories, and we're very fortunate to have them on our team.
Well, the interactions I've had with your staff, although I'm only for a brief stay, have been really remarkable. They've been really, from the check-in, very personable. Everyone, the bar, they were great. I watched them deal with other guests, did a great job. And this morning at breakfast, they were very attentive and really looking, even though, again, in that restaurant that you do have there, it's very socially distant and it's all perfect. And hopefully we'll get back to some semblance of normal soon. We won't have to do as many of these procedures, especially now with the vaccines coming through. But Laura, I want to thank you. It's been a wonderful, all too quick stay. But I had wanted to see this hotel way back in 2019 when you first opened, and I didn't get down here to do that. But as I look at the Capitol, you really have a very special place. And the rooftop bar, someday I'm going to have to go back, and we'll have to have a drink up at the summit. And
shopping at Chanel.
And shopping at Chanel. There you go. That one I'm a little worried about. But thank you once again.
Thank you very much.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.